The House of Representatives is at a standstill because 57 Democrats left the state breaking quorum. One of them is Austin State Representative Gina Hinojosa. She is joining us live from Illinois. Representative, thank you for taking some time out to talk with us.
My pleasure.
Do you want to tell us where you are?
Yes, I'm outside Chicago in some suburb of Chicago at a pretty isolated hotel in the suburbs.
Yeah. You know, I want to talk about why you all left. So this is all tied, of course, to that push to redraw the congressional district map. When we had the first hearing on HB4 on Friday, the chair of that committee, Representative Cody Vasut, said at that time that he anticipated the vote would be Tuesday. And then Sunday morning came, the calendars committee set it for Monday, today, right? And you all moved very swiftly to leave the state. Talk to us about how this all happened so quickly.
Right. Well, once the hearing happened on the map in Houston, I was present at that hearing and heard testimony from lots of Texans. Vast majority of the testimony was in opposition to this bill. There were things in the bill like removing downtown Austin from the Austin Congressional District and taking it to Polk County, over 200 miles away, with A&M in the same district. It essentially gutted the voices of those Austinites in Congress. Right. And it was it's a majority Republican district. That is not who those people are in downtown Austin. And that's just one example of many across the state. The maps are meant to gain 5 more Republicans in Congress. That is Trump's stated goal for his request to Abbott to add a very unusual mid-decade redistricting to this agenda. But they're doing it on the backs of the Latino community, the African American community. The one district that was eliminated in Austin in these Trump maps is a Latino opportunity district that currently has Greg Casar, a Latino, representing it. And that's just one example of many across this state. So we knew we had to do whatever it took to kill this immoral and frankly shameful bill.
Yeah. You know, when you think about you all leaving, talk to us about the feel, the atmosphere. What was it like, you know, on the bus headed to the tarmac, on the actual plane?
Well, I'll tell you that we are all very strong-willed type A personalities as elected members from our own communities. And so it is uncomfortable to put yourself in the hands of staff that's making all the arrangements and not knowing exactly what the game plan is. I didn't know where we were going until that afternoon. I thought we were going somewhere else in the morning. I purposefully was not trying to get information because I know that really keeping that information close is essential to its success, to that strategy's success. So, but it is very uncomfortable to be in that situation. And luckily we've been taken good care of by the staff of the Democratic Caucus, and we've made it here. And I'm very proud to be with my colleagues to do what is right, to fight to win today and every day that we have the opportunity to kill this power grab by Greg Abbott and Texas Republicans.
Let's talk a little bit about the governor. He has, I am sure you are aware, directed DPS troopers to go and civilly arrest you all. Issue warrants have been signed in the House of Representatives. The governor has also pointed to this AG opinion that states he can say that you all have vacated your offices and he can essentially appoint people to take your places. Share with us your thoughts on that, and your understanding of what he's talking about doing.
So what he is talking about doing is unlawful. He does not have the authority to remove us from our position that we were duly elected to by our constituents. And not only that, it is deeply disrespectful to the voters of Texas. We are their elected representatives. They support us being a way to block this bill. I'm getting so many messages of gratitude from my constituents. But what he is threatening to do is along the same lines of what he is trying to do by manipulating these congressional maps to predetermine the outcome of the 2026 midterms. He is trying to silence the voice of voters, the voice of Texans. It is wrong. It is undemocratic, and it is against everything we stand for as Americans. And that is the path that Greg Abbott is putting us on.
You know, long term, how long do you guys think that, I know we talked about this, right? You're trying to win the day. Session ends on the 19th. Even if you guys stay gone until the 19th, we know he'll probably just call another special session.
It is human nature to want to know how this ends. I get this question from everyone. What do we do? What's the end game? We just can't know. The quorum break in 2021 taught us that you just don't know what the next day will bring. When we broke quorum, we knew we could win for that day, and then we broke for an entire session. We knew we could win for that session. What ended up happening was we put so much attention on what Republicans in Texas were doing that they were shamed into taking out the most egregious provisions in that bill. They gutted their own bill because they could not defend what they had done in a national spotlight on a national stage. We could not have anticipated that would happen, but it did. So similarly, that is the lesson from 2021. We fight to win today. We do our best today. Tomorrow is a new day, and we evaluate the circumstances and do what we can do to win.
Okay. Well, we thank you so much for taking some time away to talk with us. Of course, you know, we'll be checking back in with you over the next days and weeks. Representative Gina Hinojosa, thank you so much.